In today's video, I'm going to show you how to drive traffic to your website if you have a service that is a local based service. So that could mean you're a plumber, maybe you have a tattoo and piercing shop, whatever it may be, you are geographically limited to your customers within 20, 30 miles or whatever it may be of your location. So what I want to go over is how to send traffic via Google and how things have changed over the years. Now, let's say that you are a plumber and you are in Richmond, Virginia. So this is what you would see today in 2021 as of making this video. You can see that it's pretty heavy on ads at the top here, and just know that everybody has different preferences. Some people like myself will never click on an ad because I know it's an ad. I want to see what's showing up in the local results. So this is the local results here pulled via Google Maps. These listings that you're seeing right here are from Google My Business. Sometimes it is abbreviated to GMB, but the way you can set that up is going to google.com/business, and then you can set up a listing there, and then it'll get pulled into this listing. Now, the important thing whenever you're looking at things online is you want to see what the easiest thing to click is. Sometimes it's referred to as what has the best ranking. So if we skip over the ads because that's a pay to play scenario, there are other things that you can see in this snack pack if you click view all, and what it'll do is it'll open up Google Maps and it'll have again some ads but then a bunch of different listings. But frankly, what you want to be is you want to be in these top three if you're going to get traffic via the Google My Business listings. Now if we go down a little bit further, this is where you see your organic website listings. So this is where you have ranked a website. Now, the thing that I would say though is tough about this is we are starting to see data aggregators. So these services such as Home Advisor, Yelp, I think I saw another one, Better Business Bureau. There are these sites that are massive sites with massive budgets. They're spending 6-7 figures a month, every single month, to show up in local listings. So the tough thing about this area is it's pretty complex to rank right here, and you've had to scroll down the page so far to get there. So the thing that I tell people to focus on is the Google My Business listings because it's the cheapest one to rank for, and it's also one of the most effective because a lot of people want to see your reviews. They want to learn a quick thing about you. This can certainly be lucrative if you can get your website to rank for local terms. But from a simplicity and budget standpoint, it's much easier to do it up here in the Google Snack Pack. Now, the thing that's interesting about this is if you go into Google and you go into tools here, one of the things you can do is you can switch it from any time and you can do a custom range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in time about 5 years and see what this looks like. So here we are exactly 5 years ago, March 28th to the 31st. And when you click go, what you'll see here is we still have the ads, but you can see that that Google local listing right there is not there. That wasn't around 6 years ago. That's something that Google has really started to focus on in the last 5 years. So that's why if somebody's telling you like, oh, you got to get your website ranked number one, blah, 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 that's not necessarily true. It is great if you can do that, but that was much more valuable 5-6 years ago, where now it's actually, in my opinion, just as valuable to show up in the local snack pack here in the top three and also have good reviews. So as you may know, if you watched my previous video on the best site builders, this is a follow-up to that video to show how you can get traffic to your site via the Google local snack pack here. And I will have those links to those site builders in the description below if you'd like to support my YouTube channel for this information. So a really simple acronym, I know I already gave you one with GMB, Google My Business, is the acronym NAP, name, address, phone. So when you have a listing here in Google My Business, what you want is the name, address, and phone to be consistent across the entire web. And one of the ways that you can fast track that process is by using a service called BrightLocal.com. And they have something called a citation builder campaign. So if we go down the page here on BrightLocal, there's a good image right here that kind of sums it up. Basically, what you want is you want to be on Facebook, Yellow Pages, Super Pages, Yelp, all the different places, TripAdvisor, Bing, everywhere, Monta.com, a bunch of sites you've probably never even heard of. And there's like a couple hundred of them typically. And you want your NAP, name, address, and phone, to be consistent across all those citations across the web. What that does is when Google starts thinking about what services that they want to feature in the snack pack, they can look at those citations all across the web. And what I mean by a citation is, let's say on your Yelp page that you have a link to your website and then you have the name, address, and phone consistent. Google can scan that page and say, you know what, this is consistent with the Google My Business page. And that helps you just kind of inch up in the rankings on your Google listing right here. So what I recommend is checking out this service, BrightLocal.com. You can run a citation campaign. I think it costs about $2 per citation. You can even get it cheaper. So you might be looking at $100, $200 to get a bunch of citations across the web set up. And again, it's with NAP, name, address, and phone being consistent. One of the other nice things about this service is they have something built in called a reputation manager. And the reason that this is so important is if you are in this snack pack, and let's say you're in the 3rd position and you have a 5-star rating like this person does, but sometimes you'll see somebody that's in here and has like a 3.5 star. People will just tend to look right past that 3.5 star rating, and they are willing to click on things that are in a lower position. So maybe you're in the 3rd position here, but you have a better star rating. You're just going to infuse confidence into that person to reach out to you for a lead. So that is one of the really nice things about this tool is it has an online reputation tool with a free 14-day trial. And I do have an affiliate link in the description below again for this tool as well if you'd like to use my link to help support my YouTube channel. Now, what I want to go into at this point is what are some things that you can do to optimize your listing on your end. So I will blur out the name of this particular business. It's somebody's business that I help manage in Google My Business, but this is what the dashboard looks like. One of the things you're going to do is make sure that you have filled out every possible bit of information that you can on your Google My Business account. So this is where you can add details such as labels. What categories do you actually work with within this business? You want to fill out as many of those as you can. In this particular case, this person is an architect. So they are in there for architect, architecture firm, building consultant, and building design company. The way that you can go through these, let's say if you're a plumber and I start to write plumber, you'll see that different things for plumber start to pop up. But if you can, make sure that you're filling out as many categories as you can that make sense. So if you're a plumber that also does, bathroom restoration, right? If I put in bathroom right here, you'll see bathroom remodeler. So you want to make sure that you're taking advantage and putting in as many categories as possible because that's going to help you increase the amount of traffic you can get to your Google My Business page. Now, one of the things that's really helpful, if you go to messages, you can connect with customers and you can turn on messaging. If you're a business that somebody needs immediate service, so they might be having an emergency issue, you want to make it as quick and easy as possible for them to reach out to you. The way that their messaging platform works is that it actually works through an app. So you can set it up for one person in your business, that could be you. You download the app, and then as soon as somebody just Googles you, there's the option to actually message the business right from the Google listing. So the reason I recommend this is twofold. One, you're in immediate communication with somebody who's interested in doing business with you. But number two, and possibly more important, is you're telling Google, like, I'll play the game. I will use all your features. I will have people engaging and interacting with my Google My Business listing as much as possible. And what are they going to do? They're going to reward you with better placement. Now, this is not a fact, but this is just something that I have observed from being in digital marketing for over 10 years, is the way that Google typically works is they want to create the best experience possible for the people that are using their service. And what that means for them is people who are interacting with their Google My Business page. And the way they know this is the time spent on the page, the time clicking different features. If you're using things like the messaging feature, it's all indicators and signals to Google that this is a really active and well-managed Google My Business listing. So I'd highly suggest turning on that messaging feature if you can swing it with your time. Now, the third reason of turning on that messaging feature is something called the golden window. Basically, in the first 5 minutes that somebody reaches out to your business, you want to be able to engage with them and respond to that lead. If you're somebody who's willing to turn on messaging and they can interact with your business and you're immediately texting back with them, you're going to have such an advantage over your competitors to land that lead and eventual sale because you're engaging within that first 5 minutes. Somebody who spends, hours to get back to a lead, their close ratio is going to be very poor. Another quick tip too is when it comes to your photos, make sure you have really good photos. That's so important because somebody might sit there and be swiping through on all your photos and checking out some of the work that you've done in the local area that you're in. And again, these are going to be signals to Google. They say, wow, look at this particular Google My Business page in Richmond, Virginia for plumbers. People are looking at 15 photos. They're messaging the business. They're interacting. They're reaching out. This is a great listing. Why don't we move it up in the rankings and give it more exposure? So if I owned a local-based business, I would absolutely spend the majority of my time focused on trying to show up in the Google Snack Pack here. So once you show up in this top 3 here in the Google Snack Pack, that is when you can start to go into your Google My Business account. Again, google.com/business. And if you click on Insights, you're going to start to see things like this where people are discovering your business right here. I'm going to blur out the information on this page, but that for a pretty small specific niche that this business is in, they've had 1,500 free impressions in the last month. You can see 75 actions. These are visits to websites, requests for directions, and 6 calls. And then the photo views one is interesting here because this is where you can start to see that your business is getting more photo views than other ones that are similar to you. And again, these are all indicators that you're doing things right, that you're creating a better listing than your competitors so that you can show up in that snack pack. So if you're like me, you're like, I would love to show up in here. That sounds great, but I'd also love to show up in the organic website listings as well, because why not if you can get extra traffic. Now, what I'd like to do is in this video on the screen right here, I'm going to walk you through the basics of ranking a website so that you can understand how you can go about doing that. So again, you can increase overall traffic, leads, and sales for your business. All right, guys, I'm going to catch you in this next video, and thank you for using my links in the description below to help support my YouTube channel. I'll catch you in that next video.